huh? Yeah.
All right, how's everyone tonight? It is Bob back with another live interview. And as promised, I've got Angie with me and a special guest, a good friend of mine from down south, Mike Ball. How are you guys? Good to have you here tonight.
Good as well. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man, this is going to be a good interview. So the reason I have both people is because they're both kind of have the same sort of story to tell, which I found Mike's when I met Mike, and I've known Mike for a little bit now, online granted, but we've known each other a bit now, and I've always found the man inspirational and a good spirits and a good mood, even in some low points that we got you talked to me about in private a little bit. And you were still smiling on screen and doing your thing. And that's one thing I've always respected about you. And I got a feeling you're the same way, aren't you, Angie?
I try to be, yeah. It's better than the alternative.
Well, it's hard to be pissy all the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've tried it. It gets tiring.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah, you in our realm, you kind of have like two things you can do. You can either lie down and accept defeat, essentially, or you can sit there and conquer it. And it sounds like Angie is somebody that is on that next level, and that's awesome to hear.
Yeah, so you do it all, yeah? You ride lots?
I do, yeah. The goal is to go over 20,000 kilometers this year. For some, that might not be a lot, but for me, that's going to be quite the accomplishment.
No, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you ride out of curiosity?
As I was waiting for you guys, sorry, I was just planning we're going in a couple of weeks, my husband and I, around Lake Superior, and we're going to make a detour to Winnipeg to see a friend of mine in Manitoba. And as I was waiting, I'm putting all this stuff together and using my route and trying to plan the routes out. And although, the bike sometimes will take you different places than what you have.
Which is more fun.
Yes.
That's absolutely the way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as you have gas here.
Mm-hmm. Now, what do you ride? What do you ride out of curiosity?
So I currently ride, it's a Honda CTX. It's a dual clutch. So basically you can ride it as an automatic, and it's got paddle shifters. You can shift it to manual and ride it as a manual if you desire.
Wow.
I couldn't get that in Canada. I had to import it from North Tonawanda, just outside of Buffalo, at Bob Weaver Motorsports. And I started on a Honda Rebel. It was a Honda Rebel 300. And I had a centrifugal force clutch. So it kind of disengaged the engine automatically, and I would still shift. And my throttle was like this fellow that I knew, Todd, at he's going to kill me. This is what happens when you go through chemo. 10 years later, you still don't remember things. Mission Cycle. Yeah. So he actually modified it for me, and he took what's called a Goldfinger that's usually used on ATVs and whatnot, and he kind of MacGyvered it. So I used it as a finger throttle like this.
Wow. Okay, yeah, I get you. Like kind of like the four-wheel Scott?
Kind of, sort of, yeah. So he took the front brake, moved it over to the left side, put the throttle like that on the left side. And again, it would, disengage the engine with the clutch, and I would still shift. Then I got a Shadow Arrow. And we kind of did the same thing, but the Arrow didn't like that clutch so much, I guess because of the torque, and it was very expensive to maintain it. And my arm was getting sore, so we shifted to a thumb throttle. And my buddy John at Motorcycle Enhancements, he kind of helped, MacGyver something like that.
Sure.
Then one day I saw this ad about a CTX, and that was a few years ago. And I said, okay, I said to my hubby, I'm going to go down to Bob Weaver. I'm not buying anything. I just want to look
That's how it always starts right there. We're not buying it.
I'm not buying anything.
I'm buying it.
Yeah. And it was a CTX naked, and I sat on it, and it was a Saturday, and right away I call Motorcycle Enhancements, talk to my buddy and say, listen, I know it's not really a work day, but if I send you some pictures, can you tell me if you can modify it? And so we were going back and forth, and it ended up I bought it. So that was the naked. And then a year later there was a Cruiser. It's just a little bigger and whatnot, and that's what I have now. So with that bike, because it's a dual clutch, I mean, that's stock Honda, technology. They have it in their Gold Wings, and they have it on the Africas and the NCs.
I was just about to ask. It sounds like the same thing as the Africa. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So the only thing they had to do was just move the front brake over to the left-hand side.
Nice.
And that, and my throttle now, I have an actual twist throttle, which was done for me at Honda Milton Power Sports.
Nice.
They kind of MacGyvered that because I thought I'm getting tired with this thumb
Sure.
thing, and I had carpal tunnel and I had surgery, but my fingers were still going numb. So, and I was reluctant. I was reluctant to try something new, even though I don't like to admit that. But I guess I was a little stubborn, and I tried the twist. I love it. I mean, now it's just the greatest thing. So yeah, that's what I do now.
That's cool. So
Very
you got
cool.
all the, yeah, I can't believe all those mods, and Honda was the only guys that would do it for you, as you were saying to us.
Yeah, I mean, I went to a motorcycle show a few years ago, and I researched how, riding with one hand, and everything I could find was in the States, and that's really cool. But I thought there's got to be something in Canada, and I couldn't find a thing. So I said, okay, I'm going to go to the show. It was in February, like the manufacturers type of show that they have years ago. And I went to every single manufacturer, and only Honda would take me seriously. So they kind of connected me with some ideas and different people I could talk to, and actually connected me with Learning Curves, who was the only school that would teach me. And the thing with Learning Curves was I had to have my own bike, and I had to understand how my mods worked, because they would teach me how to ride, but I couldn't use their bike, right? So yeah, it's come together really well.
That's cool. I like all those little tight turns that they make you do at Learning Curves and all that. I've done the bike course twice, because the first time I had never rode before.
Right.
And the first bike was going to be a big old Harley, because I was going to join a bike club at the time. So I wasn't buying a little Nighthawk, right? I went to, and you go around those little bikes right from that to a Harley, and I was like, boom, away I went.
Yep.
Yeah.
I learned. I took the course on my own Harley. Same here. Where you go and take the whole course and do that. Yeah, I had to do it on my own bike too.
But the interesting thing was, like, my bike, it was a Rebel and had the mirrors and everything, because it was, it was a bike you rode. And now the bikes that they had for folks to learn on, there were no mirrors, right? Because people were dumping them all the time and whatever. And people would still walk up to my bike, and they'd walk up to my bike and say, "Fine, you want to try and ride it? Go ahead. I mean, good luck figuring
good
it
luck
out.
trying to just go from 0 to 15. Let's see it happen. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah. But they were great. I mean, it was all about safety. And the thing is, I actually dumped my bike during the course on the Sunday morning, and the test is
the
on
warm
Sunday,
up for your test.
And my throttle, I kind of cracked it, and I thought, oh God, I'm not going to be able to take the test and everything. Unfortunately, where I took my course was at a Honda campus, and there were some fellas there that MacGyvered it for me, so they kind of fixed it for me so I could do the test. And you never forget those folks that helped you.
Now, how long ago was that?
I started riding in 2017. I think it's 2017.
Okay.
Yeah, because the whole story. Yeah, because I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2014, and I would always wait. Like, it's always going to get the bike. I'm going to get the bike. Going to get the bike. One day. It
was one of those one day things.
Yeah, you just kind of realized that one day might not come. Because I had a moped when I was a kid, and it was MacGyvered and everything, and I rode the thing like a motorcycle, but never. When I was in my 20s, it's okay, I'll get a bike one, but it was never to be. Life gets in the way,
Absolutely.
And there comes a time when you got to stop waiting.
Right? Yeah,
facts.
That was going to be one of my questions. Yeah, how old were you when you decided I'm going to go ride motorcycles now?
Yeah, it was.
But that's always been in your head if you're riding the moped around and stuff, right?
You know what? Yeah, because I mean, my sister used to date a motorcycle racer when I was about 5 years old, and he put me on the back of his bike, and that was it. I mean, here I am, a kid of 5 years old, and I'm on the back of a motorcycle, and I was hooked right from then. And I'd always watch racing and stuff, and I've always been into sports and everything. But I figured if Evel Knievel could, break every bone in his body just to do a jump, there's some way I'm going to be able to ride a motorcycle. It's going to happen.
Damn straight. One day, right? Damn straight. Yep.
See, and that's the perfect thing about motorcycles, because everyone's got their own reason why they get into it.
True.
Once they're into it, you don't really get that out of your system.
No, it stayed with me forever. And I'm a musician too, and I play guitar, and I've always wanted to do whatever I can to inspire people, and I love AC/DC. So in 2000, my husband and I, we formed an AC/DC tribute band called Bear Rump. And if you want to surf it, there's stuff out there, but I can't help it if you find things other than my band.
Right. For real. That name.
Right. But we did.
You might find a couple of different things. Yeah.
You might find. Yeah. and we did all kinds of gigs, including charities and benefits that were motorcycle. So for instance, Ride for Sight we did that one in Trenton, and everybody wanted to take me for a ride. So I mean, I was dressed up in the suit. I mean, I still have it, the Angus suit, and
You were the Angus?
I am Angus. See?
You got the
Yeah,
Angus part.
That's my prosthetic right there.
Wow.
So
So how does that work?
that goes on like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I put tape on it. Like, this is just Velcro. You can't really see it. That's Velcro. And I put electrical tape on it, and that holds the pick. And then
that's
I
your
just
stuff.
Wow. How cool
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah. Yeah. So we did AC/DC for a long, long time. And that really got me back in the bikes, right? Getting on the back of the bikes and being around the bikes and, and all that kind of stuff. And that kind of reawakened the passion that I got to get a bike one day. And then it was still one day until that diagnosis came. When the diagnosis came, I said, yeah, we got to stop waiting. And the thing is, my hubby got a bike first, because I said,
Right.
you have to get a bike.
And so that was the motivation now. It
Yeah, I
was like,
said,
okay, now
get
I've
a
got the
bike.
real excuse.
Yeah, right. Like, stop waiting. And he did. And I pushed him to get the license, which he did. And he wasn't ready. And I forced him to put me on the back. And I got really good at jumping off, because he dumped me, because he wasn't ready for me, But
Right.
I pushed him and I pushed him. And I said, come on. But one day I saw the bike in the garage and I couldn't ride it. And that word "can't" does not exist in my vocabulary. And that's when I decided I got to start, trying to figure out a way that I could ride myself. Yeah.
Nice. So how long was it that your husband got the bike and then you decided, okay, now it's my turn? Like, how long was that difference? Okay, it was less than a year.
Yeah, he got his license, September 2016, I think. And yeah, I already had mine the next summer.
Yep. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's right. SNS, adapt and overcome. That's what we got to do. That's a fact. Like I said, behind the stage, you got one of two options. You can either just lay down in defeat, which you're accepting defeat right away, or you can sit there and go, I'm going to conquer this shit. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's it. That's what you got to do. Everybody faces challenges in life,
Facts.
And when I hear all this crap that's going on in the world today and all the hate and all this stuff, and I think, just don't judge people and get to know people. And that's why I like to share my story, because I think it's just important to share positivity and what grit and determination can do. And it's not always easy, as you've alluded to. You're going to have up and down and good days and bad days, and
facts.
you got to get through it, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And a motorcycle sure helps, doesn't it?
Oh, by a long shot. By a long shot. Now, out of curiosity, with your your arm, do you have any phantom pain and stuff like that you still deal with?
No, it's because I was
Very
born
nice.
with this, right? The only thing that when I was born, it was bent, and my what would have been my wrist was bent, and so my mom used to tell me stories of how I was impatient and I would roll instead of crawl. So I was always trying to come up with different ways to accomplish things, right?
From
but
day
when
one,
this was yeah. I mean, I always say to people, if you took one arm and you bent it and you kept your other one straight, I mean, how are you going to tie your shoes and how are you going to do things that everybody takes for granted? So when this was straightened, it opened up a whole new world for me. And I think I was about 3 when I had that surgery.
Wow. Yeah. So you had to have a surgery in order to even open it up.
To straighten it. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I had a prosthetic. I went through all that kind of stuff, and I mean, the thing I loved about a prosthetic was I was a center of attention. So I got the best of my parents, right? My mom and my dad, I got the best of both worlds. So I won't say which one loved the attention, Dad.
There you go. Yeah. Hey.
But, you meet with doctors and stuff, and they're asking you all these questions. You're the center of attention. When you get the prosthetic, that wasn't fun. I mean, this is a long time ago. This is in the 60s. So it really.
So you didn't really like being in the spotlight like that?
Not with that. No, because then, people that accepted me now were back to making fun of me and stuff. And the things that I could do, like I've always been into sports and stuff like that. You put a prosthetic on, I was unable to do that. See, I don't use the word can't. So the thing came off pretty quickly.
So when you ride, do you ride with a prosthetic or just like how you are?
No. And some people have suggested that maybe I want to put something on the right side, but for me, this is all I know.
Sure.
So for me, I mean,
it works.
Like this arm gets really big during nice.
You got
just starting.
Over there.
It's like, and I don't do that to say, well, it's just,
you over here flexing on us. I see how it is.
You like that, right? So it's everything's with the left side, and I guess I use the abs, my legs, a lot more than maybe others. And when I'm leaning and doing all that kind of stuff with the right, I mean, the advantage for me is if I'm backing up, I'll just put the handlebar right there and just pull it.
Wow.
And sometimes I lean forward.
Hook it.
Yeah,
Swing.
exactly.
cool.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll lean forward, like I might push it a bit more with the right side, but for me, I'm comfortable doing it that way.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
I bet
yeah.
you it would
That's awesome.
throw off your balance after learning.
Yeah, I guess because I'm compensating already, and you don't realize what you're doing to compensate, but I'm compensating, and
Yep.
yeah, I'm very comfortable. If I didn't feel safe, I mean, somebody once said, that I wouldn't be able to do an emergency stop, and I thought, wow, you know how many emergency stops I've had to
I've
make?
had to do. You're right. Right.
Right?
You've done it. Right. So how are you
Well,
going to tell me? Right.
Yeah. And in all honesty, do any of us really know what we're going to do if we're faced in a certain situation, regardless
Right.
of how we're put together? You don't
the
know
only
until you're
the only
truly
time
there,
I've
right?
ever had to make an emergency stop was when I was driving like an asshole. So
So that was you.
See, I grew up in Southern California, you know what I mean, where there's, 20 million people per county, you know what I mean? So yeah, like I definitely, if I had to learn anywhere, I'm glad I actually learned there, and then actually learned how to ride amputated over there so that I could, over here, something like this is so simple. There's nobody here. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I hit the roads and it's just me. So, I've been splitting lanes my entire life,
Mhm.
on motorcycles, my adult life. And I'm splitting lanes at, 60, 70 miles per hour, 80 miles per hour sometimes, it just depends. But yeah, it taught me how to ride for real and how to really hit those dodges and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, there's been some interesting situations that I've been in. I mean, sometimes it's not, if you're the only one on there and someone's coming the other way and they're the only one on there. And that's what happened last year. We were in New York and it was very hilly. And I just, you get that gut feel, you learn to listen to it no matter what you do.
Yep.
And I knew this lady was coming and I knew she wouldn't stop at that stop sign. I just knew
Mm,
it. And if I didn't stop, it would have been like that.
right.
So,
Right.
and
Isn't it amazing? Our gut is
yeah,
such an
you gotta
amazing
listen.
tool.
Yeah,
Mhm.
true.
now, did you have a feeling, Mike, before that car got you?
No, I didn't.
It was too quick.
But the truth is I used to be an every single day rider. I rode every single fucking day. Now if I decide that I don't want to ride because my gut is telling me, hey, this is not the right time, blah, 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 I actually listen to it and go, okay, I don't need to. You know what I mean? Like I've proven myself already. I don't need to prove myself to anybody. You know what I mean? I'm out here for my ride, not for you. And so, what I go out when I'm comfortable, and most of the time it is I'm comfortable, but there are times that I'll wake up and go, you know what, this doesn't feel right. Maybe I shouldn't go out today, and then I listen to it.
I love
What's
it.
up, Junkyard? What's up, Todd J, Steve? Appreciate you guys for being in here.
Mike. That's the other reason I invited Mike. He gets a whole whack of people in the live chat.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and they come to whatever his show is. Because when did you put it out? You're going live like 5 minutes before we went live?
Not even, probably right before she came in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I mean, it's not like I advertised it or anything. It's just, I didn't know that it was happening tonight. You know what I mean? So, and we've been planning for a little bit, like we were going to do this together and stuff like that. And then he messaged me like, hey, I'm setting this up, blah, 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 getting it ready. I'm like, yeah, send me the link and stuff. And he's like, yeah, okay, I'm getting ready and I should be ready soon. I'm like, you talking tonight? He's like, yep. I'm like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. Yep. What's up, Dark Horse? Yep.
Yeah. So they
Feels
all
ultra
showed
good.
up. And you got a book too. Is that right, Angie?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I wrote a book called From Chemo to Throttle. And
wow. Love
Yeah,
that.
we didn't even touch on the cancer part either, did we?
Oh,
A
yeah.
little bit, just very, very minuscule.
Yeah.
Where were you in your life when the cancer part came around?
So that was 10 years ago. And I don't want to be a downer. I believe everything has a positive. I really do. And
Facts.
sometimes it can be very, very hard to find. And I see people will say, what are you, nuts? I mean, listen, we all deal with stuff, right? All of us. And I figure if a child has to go through anything tragic or difficult, who am I to complain? So when I got diagnosed, it's just another chapter in life. So that happened 10 years ago. And yeah, I mean, it's the positive was that I met a whole bunch of people that I never would have met. One of whom was my angel oncologist, who I actually just got back in touch with today.
Nice.
Because he retired. We had a deal, but he retired 2 years ago. So I was just chatting with him today. And
It's good
you
to
just
keep
learn
those
so much.
connections.
It is, you know, you learn so much about yourself. And it wasn't for
Mhm.
that, I wouldn't have walked away from my corporate gig, and I wouldn't have gone into inspirational speaking, and I probably wouldn't have got the motorcycle because I'd probably still be waiting for the right day. And then I probably wouldn't have been connected with you guys. So it's
Don't be skipping over motivational speaking like it's nothing. So
Oh,
you actually left a corporate job to
yeah,
go motivational speak.
yeah.
So how did you get into that realm?
Well, the interesting thing is I formed an AC/DC trib band, as I was saying earlier, and it was called Bear
Mhm.
Run. And when I started playing, I would meet all kinds of people that would tell me their story and say, Ange, if you could play guitar, then I can do this. And if you can
Sure.
do that, then I can do this. And we started doing benefits like I mentioned the motorcycle, but we did some stuff for Sick Kids, which is a hospital for children that are suffering with all kinds of things. And when we did one of these benefits, I mean, I got parents coming up to me saying, this is the first time my child smiled in such a long time. And I remember this little guy, and he was pointing at me. He said, she's got a little arm. She's got a little arm. But we got him up on stage, and, you know, I get inspired, and they, you know, I'm inspiring them. They're inspiring me. And I thought, you know what, if I'm getting all this from this band, I've got a story to tell.
Totally.
And this is the other thing. You wait for the right day. You wait for the right day. And, you know,
But you
when the
create that
cancer
right
hit,
day though.
well, yeah,
You're
but
the
you
one
know,
that decides
the
that.
reality though is corporate
Right.
is pretty good in that regard, you know, and you got
Totally.
to pay the bills. So you got to balance it out. And it's like I said to my ex-oncologist today, I said to him, you know, I'm not earning the bucks that I used to, but I'm not getting those chest pains from stress anymore. And
Good.
I feel like I'm giving back, and that's very therapeutic, and we'll work the rest of it out. So yeah, I wrote the book to share the story. And I also made a movie because I knew that there was a motorcycle film festival actually in Toronto. I knew about the Toronto Motorcycle Film Festival, and I thought, I'm going to make a documentary just to talk about
Mm,
how I got into motorcycling and the mods, because I said earlier, when I was looking for mods, I can only find stuff in the US. So I
right.
thought if I did
Right.
this movie, it might help inspire other people that, hey, guess what? There's things that we can do here
It's
too.
almost like bringing awareness for sure.
Exactly, raising awareness. So I did
Mhm.
that. It got into a variety of different film festivals, including the Toronto Motorcycle Film Festival a few years ago.
Wow.
So it's been really, really cool. And I mean, it's some of the, we had a motorcycle show here in Toronto in April, and I helped organize the women's motorcycling event just to try again to get, you know, women
Totally.
riding and stuff, and to share my story. But it's been a really cool ride. It's been a
Mhm.
really, really cool ride.
Did you
So
do
one
that right
thing
on
linked
May
to the other.
4th?
I'm sorry?
Did you do the ride on May 4th? Wasn't May 4th the
No,
female ride?
no. Am I going to get into trouble?
No,
No,
no.
you know why?
I'm just
Because I ride
curious.
with everybody. I ride with everybody. And
Mhm.
I think it's good, but I just like to ride with, it doesn't matter to me, you know.
Right.
I don't
Right.
care what
You're
kind of
riding
bike
your
you
own
ride. I
ride
don't
and you're
care what, you know what I mean? You
right.
ride, it's good. I'm happy.
Yeah, you know what? I've never been on a big organized ride. Same
What?
No.
thing. No, I'll hook up with some friends and go. I talk about all of them, and
Yeah.
the thought process was this summer I would go to them,
Mhm.
but then life came up and the bike had to go down the road. So we'll go next summer.
There you go.
Interesting.
There you go.
Interesting. Yeah, I
I'll
mean, you've
still
seen
talk
that
about them.
I've done quite a few of those group organized rides, you know, whether it be only my club or other clubs involved. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
club rides. I wasn't talking about club rides.
No, I know,
mean,
but like the
other than-
organized
yeah,
the
like
organized big rally kind of rides.
yeah,
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
big sisters or
Totally.
Ride for the Blind and all those rides.
Yep.
Yeah, I've
Those
done
are
a
the
few of
things I
them.
like to talk about.
Yeah, I've done some of them. The only thing that concerns me is, and maybe it's just me, you don't know everybody that's around you. And you
Right.
don't know
That's
their
the problem.
skill. And then I feel uncomfortable because I mean, honestly, I don't want to hold anybody up. And somebody once told me, if people are upset at you because you're holding people up, you're riding with the wrong people.
Yep. 100%.
Right. So I mean, but I still feel it's just me. I don't want to do anything that's going to hold people up. So I really like to know who's around me and how they ride. And I've been on a few, and some of them are organized really well, but some of them I find are way too big.
Yep. You're right.
And you got people going all over the place, and
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of people have been either drinking and you don't know these people.
You don't know, yeah.
They've never been a part of an organization or a club or a riding club, whatever. They've never been a part of any of that. And then you get around these people that, you know, they're happy-go-lucky people and just want to ride. And then all of a sudden they're doing stuff to put the pack at risk. You know, it happens a lot. And that's one of the reasons why I don't just join those rides all the time. It's usually club only
Right.
type stuff for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I was. Because
Mhm.
I remember a club pack ride. We were going through Michigan with a couple hundred bikes, and everyone had the same patch, and it was exhilarating. But it's what we do, kind of. You
Mhm.
kind of feel like you become a professional after so many
Totally.
years of going here and there. You know what I mean?
Totally. I mean, the most confident person in the pack, ironically, is the amputated dude. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know how that happened, but yeah, it's definitely interesting how that works out. Yeah.
Where they put you at the front or the back?
I'm always at the front, but
Are you good, man?
yeah, and then when I was first amputated, for the club, what they ended up doing is basically engulfing me, and so I'd be in the middle and everyone was protecting me, type thing. And then it wasn't long. That maybe lasted a month, and then I was just out of there. Yep.
I used to like to run block. Yeah.
Right.
I'm fast. I'm fast.
Mhm. I'm that guy from the stoplight that goes to 0-60 within a second. I'm that guy, but I don't like rocket speeds all the time. I don't do that. Like I'll go from 0-60 really quick, but then I'll hold it at 60, kind of thing. But yeah, my get, starting point is very off the wall rocket fast,
You're in a
but
drag
that's the only
race.
thing I do fast.
See, I always do that when cars are around because I hate being behind cars.
Yeah.
Yep. Same. Yeah. Being behind cars suck.
Yeah, there's no worse feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Well, the thing is, riding a dual clutch too, it goes pretty quick. Like from
Oh
stop,
yeah,
it
I'd
goes
imagine.
pretty
does it?
fast,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and sometimes I have to back off. And some people will say, well, you're not really riding a motorcycle, you're riding a scooter and whatever. And I say, you know what? I really don't care what you think.
It doesn't
I'm
matter.
on
It
a
doesn't matter.
motorcycle.
Why would they even comment that? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
really.
Some
What's the
people think that,
insecurity in you?
well, right?
That you have to say
there
that.
are people out there, and I don't know why it's so important. Do what you want, but some people out there think, well, if you're riding an automatic, it's not really a motorcycle because you have to shift and everything, and that's fine. Listen, you want to do that,
Sure.
you do that. If
And
it makes you feel good,
that's
to
what
say stuff like
that's
that,
what I decided to do, right? But just because I decided to do that doesn't mean you need to put down somebody else for doing what they decided to do. Like
I
that
don't even,
has
you know
zero
what?
merit.
Is that
You
the right
learn,
thing?
you learn to just not listen to the negativity.
Totally.
And do what you want to do, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Make
yeah.
you feel good. Hey, if I'm making you feel good by I'm so important in your day that you feel you have to say something, then I guess I still accomplished what I wanted because I made you feel good. That's okay, right?
That is crazy, eh? Because you've
Everybody-
been hitting the miles already this year, haven't you? Every time we speak, you're somewhere else.
I love
Me?
the Ghost Eagle. That's hilarious.
Eh,
These guys are nutballs. Hey,
My bike was total a few weeks ago. Damn. Yeah, that's a bummer, Steve.
Yeah.
Get yourself a new one.
what's the next show you're off to, or the next adventure you're off on?
Well, my riding club is doing. We have a ride of the year that's awarded to a chapter every year, and actually, there's one going on. It's in our Southern Cruisers Riding Club this weekend. So my band's going to be playing there. So if the band's playing there, that means I don't ride. But it's okay. It's all right to volunteer and do stuff like that every so
That's
often.
awesome.
Right. So my band will play for that and support that. But next weekend, we go to Peterborough, Ontario, my riding club for the weekend. And then my husband and I are off. That's when we do the Lake Superior loop thing that I've been working on for a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Now you
And I
watch
wish summer, like even when we're here, like every weekend we got something going on. We're riding somewhere. I mean, it's such a short window, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, for you guys have that different window category.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I can theoretically ride 365. Not that I would want to, but I could here where I live now. But at the same token, I don't know if I necessarily would want to. But you guys got like almost exactly 6 months, right?
6 months.
Yeah. So you guys are cut in half.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding us.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry for you ones that have to garage your bikes,
right? And is it
This year
today's the longest day? Today's the longest day of the year. I think it's today.
is?
So thank you very much. Yes.
Had no idea. That's crazy.
So it's all like for me.
Mm-hmm.
No.
That's right, Todd J. Absolutely correct.
Yeah, no, that is That is wicked that you got an AC/DC band. So who's
Yeah.
singing? Your husband?
Well, when we had the AC/DC, because we don't do it anymore, and I'll tell you why we don't do it anymore. So we did it for about 15 years, and we went through some different singers. The best singer that we had was
That's a long time,
woman,
by the way,
actually.
for a
It
band.
was, right? And some people say, and you got to bring back, your AC/DC trib band. And it's like, you know what? That's why you had to enjoy it. But the reason why I stopped, and I know, you guys, the way your minds work, and I told a buddy of mine once, I stopped it because, my knees got banged up from doing Angus. And they said, do you know what you just said? That your knees
Right.
got banged up from doing Angus? I said, yeah, because I was, because when I'm Angus, I'm Angus, right?
Nice. I like
And
that.
yeah, we
he
actually
moves.
had the good fortune to meet the band years ago, and Angus and Malcolm actually taught me how to play Thunderstruck. And
No way.
Yeah.
yeah, 2001, I'll never forget it. Yeah,
That's super
it was actually
cool.
in St. Catharines, Ontario. They did a promo for Stiff Upper Lip, and yeah, so that was really, really cool. But now we have a classic rock band, and I sing in that one. So my hubby plays drums, and he's played drums in every band that we've had.
Nice.
And I sing, and we do everything from like Elvis to Rammstein.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I like all kinds of
Absolutely.
stuff. And I still play guitar every now and then. So yeah, it's cool.
Well, that
Nice.
is cool.
A lot of fun. Yeah.
So you get around the golden horseshoe.
Yeah. Well, actually,
Yeah.
you know what? We're going to be, there's a ride for Dad for the Golden Horseshoe in September. We're going to be playing at that too.
No shit. And
Yeah.
is it the same name?
We're called Lefty and the Goons now.
Lefty.
Lefty.
I like that
and-
name.
Yeah, who Lefty is. Yeah, Lefty
Mhm.
and the Goons. Yeah.
Clever. I like it.
Like it. Lefty and the Goons. Yeah, that's us.
Because there's a ton of those charity rides up here every weekend.
Yeah.
I
every
never run
weekend
out of
there's-
material to talk about,
Yeah.
Wow.
Every weekend there's something. Yeah. Yeah.
which I think is cool because it gives me something to talk about, thankfully. but then I get to meet. I don't even know how I found you, but I get to meet people like you, and we get to talk because everyone's doing something out there. Like the
Gotta
Southern
love
Riders
social media.
Guilds. Yeah. It is a trip, eh?
It brings people together. And, you've got the bad side of social media, and then you have the good side.
Absolutely,
And this is
yeah.
the good side.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
100%. Yeah, because you're the riding club you're part of. They got a few chapters all around Ontario, don't they?
Yes, we do. So we're actually international.
I thought so.
Yeah, we welcome all kinds of riders. I'm the second officer in Oakville 680. Yay!
Nice. Shout out.
Shout
How about
out.
that? I'll
There
give it
you
to you.
But
Love
Winston Churchill. That's
Yeah.
where I grew up, Winston Churchill Boulevard.
Winston Churchill. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Just on the other side. I was on the Mississauga side.
Yeah, well, we're in Meadowville. We're in Meadowville. A lot of
Okay.
construction going on here.
Oh, they got London all ripped up too. They
God,
never stop.
getting harder
It's
and harder
true.
to get
Huh?
away.
Damn.
Yeah, but the Southern ride. But see, well, I don't know. Maybe I don't follow them enough. But do they do weekly rides for like different chapters? Some do the weekly
Yeah.
rides.
Yeah, so Southern Cruisers Riding Club. Yeah, like you were saying, we have different chapters and whatnot. And like for instance, our chapter, we do ride every Wednesday.
Nice.
And different chapters, like they'll meet up different nights of the week. And
It's
you
so
do a ride.
refreshing to not hear a Saturday or a Sunday. Damn.
Yeah, I mean, we
so
do
nice to
something
hear a
else.
Wednesday.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice break in the week, right?
Mhm.
And in the off season, we'll do other social activities, like we'll meet at a restaurant or something. Or
Sure.
we do a bowling event for charity and different things like euchre night and stuff like that. It's
Love
really
it.
cool because you get to meet so many different people, but you've got that one interest. It's motorcycling, so it brings
Totally.
you together, and it's that social. So you got this family, and that's what happened to me. I mean, I found a family that I never knew I
Now,
had.
how did you find that particular family? Like, what led you to that riding club?
Well, the interesting thing is because of our band, our bass player was already riding, and he said, well, I didn't have anybody to ride to. And I found this club and it's called Southern Cruisers. You guys might want to check it out. So it's because of him mentioning it that we did.
So
and
simple of just
something
a
sort
simple,
of,
like,
yeah.
hey, check it out kind of
Check
thing.
it out.
Like, hey,
Yeah,
you may or may not like it kind of thing. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden you're like, wow, I'm a part of this family now.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
So, you got that. And we just came back. Actually, we did a meet and greet. And that was what it was in Pennsylvania. It was a PA, New Jersey meet and greet with other members of Southern Cruisers and their chapters.
Not too far
And we
from
had
me.
people coming, we had people coming from PA and from Maine and New Jersey, and of course, Oakville 680 came, and yes,
Nice.
Ottawa was there.
Representing.
Yes, shout out to Ottawa.
That's right.
Niagara had some people, but it was just so cool. And then you get to find new roads that people. I mean, it's cool just to get on the bike and just go, but it's also nice if someone already knows something that you can go to or check out. That it's just great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Steve, he's 8 hours ahead of us. So can you imagine what time it is over there for him? Yeah, it feels bad over there in London, England.
Is he in England?
Yeah, he's in England.
That's pretty cool.
I know where most of my people are from. I have a regular relationship, just like I do with you, Bob. Just like I have with them. It's the same thing. I keep up with everybody on social media, on YouTube, on the whole thing. So yeah, that's the beautiful side of the internet.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think you do YouTube as well. Yeah. I think one of the guys put it up.
Yeah, they actually shouted out your channel already.
Yeah.
In the chat.
I have no time. And
you don't like to do it?
I'm very bad. I haven't updated stuff. I spend all my time doing little things on, like TikTok and Instagram but yeah, I gotta get going on this YouTube channel because I haven't done stuff. I've got 2 GoPros that are sitting here that, you just, again, time, it gets in the way, right? And I got to set them up before we go. I wanted to have them when we went to Lake George and Du Bois, but I got to get that going.
We get them sorted out before you go around Lake Simcoe or Lake Superior. Sorry.
Sorry, what's that? Sorry.
Got to get them sorted out before you go around Lake Superior. It's nice up there.
Absolutely, yeah. I most definitely do.
It's really, really, except for the bugs. Everything else is beautiful except for the bugs.
Yeah. Well,
hey, I feel that down here. I got bugs like a motherfucker down here, so I feel that.
Well, I don't do well with bugs. If I see a bug, I take a cup and I put it over the bug and I wait for the hubby to get home. Isn't that, like...
Well, the extent of my bugs are essentially is just flies, because we have there's a lot of sod, which is a lot of grass, stuff like that. So yeah, there's going to be lots of, flies and stuff. But other than that, we don't have anything crazy.
No, we tried to camp up there when I was a kid and the black flies just murder you.
Well, I'm going to tell you something that's I think is kind of funny. I mean, I did a fundraiser for Trillium Health Partners, which is I went to Credit Valley for my treatments and everything. So this is another example of how I try and give back. And I did some speaking at a fundraiser last week, and I'm driving home, and I don't want to offend anybody. So this just has to do with me. I never saw myself as a girly girl. Not that there's anything wrong with being a girly girl. I even wrote a song about it. It just means I just never saw myself that way. Right. But I'm driving home in the car and there's a spider with a body the size of a marble. And this thing is, now how stupid is this? I'm screaming as I'm driving the car. I'm screaming. And this thing, I said, stay over there. When I got home, I jumped out of the car. I didn't even put the car in the garage. I got the hubby. You got to get rid of this thing. He said it didn't exist. Really? We get in the car the other day. There's spider webs.
It's there.
I said, this freaking, it's here somewhere. And when you see it, you will freak out.
You guys have to like tear up the whole interior of the, the car to figure out what the hell, where it isn't.
Right.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
And I mean, and you might say, well, why weren't you on the bike, Ange? Well, I wasn't on the bike because I had to bring a lot of stuff that I was, selling to raise money at this fundraiser. So if I would have been on the bike.
Nothing wrong with that, by the way. I don't know why people get so, that's some internet bullshit, by the way.
But
you know what I mean?
If I would have been on the bike, I wouldn't have been bothered by this spider.
True. I guess so, huh? You would have found it one way or another, though, so yeah.
I definitely want to see that thing again. So there you go. There's my story.
Not a fan of bugs, I see. Insects.
When I was a kid, I used to play with them. I'd play with them. I'd take worms and dangle them in front of my sister's face.
Now you're nothing like that.
Not now.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, I feel that.
See, the corporate world.
I don't necessarily like them either.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I think. I like them ones that hit you in the head so hard when you're riding.
Damn, fuck that.
But you see, that's why I wear a full, and actually why I wear a full face is because when I was on the back of that bike when I was 5, I remember, the guy, when I saw that full face helmet, to me, he was a superhero.
Oh, yeah.
Just like a superhero. So now it always had to be a helmet with a dark shield. I can't ride with a clear. I have to have dark. It's funny how this goes back to when I was a kid. And then if you see kids in the car, beside you and that, and they're looking, you wave and they wave back. I know how they feel because that's how I felt when somebody would look at me on a motorcycle. It just takes that little thing to make somebody's day a little brighter.
It does.
You know?
It does. And something so simple as just looking their way and maybe waving or showing a kind, friendly face, stuff like that. All of a sudden they're just like all stoked on it. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
But if you have the full face and the bugs are there, you get fireworks. Like it's like fireworks. It's exploding on you.
I've only ever rode with a full face. And thank God it actually saved my life when I got into my accident, because the very first thing to hit the ground was my head, which was the curb, and I flew off at 100 or 80 miles per hour.
Ooh.
So, that saved my life. I actually still have the helmet over to the side, and it's all just, this is a $1,200 a ride racing helmet, and it's beat to shit,
Good thing.
And if I didn't have that thing, I would have been dead easily. Yeah, for sure. So it's a blessing.
I've always used I like a rye.
And see, I was in a motorcycle club. I was a beanie and
yeah. You see, we've always had helmet laws over here, motherfucker. So we've always had to deal with helmet laws. Yeah.
Oh yeah, ours have to have the sticker on the back.
Oh, okay. So you do have to have now do you have to have just a DOT or do you need like the English version of their rating, which is a higher
DOT.
rating? Okay, so
I'm
DOT is just normal North America. Yeah.
We just were whatever.
Mm-hmm. I know, Powers Lawn. I know.
It's so funny, eh? Now I think about all that shit, When you're in a club, you think for some reason you're invincible.
It's true. It's true.
I'm just going to ride 100 miles an hour through town and nothing's going to happen.
Never, ever. Right. And ironically, I lost my leg on club time, so yeah, I feel that.
Oh.
Yep, on club time. I was 0.5 miles away from my house after riding about 750 miles that day. And I was only 0.5 miles away from home.
Oh,
they always say it happens. They say it happens close to home. Yep, you definitely got me. Mike is a diner bro, and diner bros don't die, they multiply. Yes! That's right. I like it. We had to get all crazy for that. Do me a favor, Bob. Hit that screen on the bottom left where it shows my Instagram. Bring that up real quick. And I'm going to play a little this right here.
What are you doing, step bro?
I say, yeah, but rolling like a big shot. Chevy tuned up like a NASCAR pit stop. Fresh paint job, fresh inside. With the outside frame in the trunk wide. Or the real thing, do it right.
Still out here telling the story and writing.
First thing first, I hit the scene solo. I rep the Triple D,
riding to Las Vegas.
I'm flashing like a photo.
See, Angie's gonna think we're trying to get her to buy a Harley.
Super fun though. Anyway, you can bring it down.
Hey, listen, I told Harley, I went to some Harley stores and I said, listen, guys, if you want to sponsor me, I will ride a Harley. You want to modify it for me? You want to make it so that I can ride it? Because you guys wouldn't talk to me.
What was their response?
We'll get in touch with head office. Yeah, okay. I'm not holding my breath. But then what I say is, because I don't care what you ride, as long as you ride, it's all good. But I can't help it. I still say Harley owners need dependable alternatives. Honda.
But hey, that's cool. Absolutely.
It's just a joke. It's a joke because Honda's the only one that would talk to me. I mean, nobody.
Absolutely. I would do the same thing, to be honest. You know what I mean?
Harley has done amazing marketing. They have done amazing marketing over the years because everybody I talk to, and they say, oh, you ride. Because, I speak to all different people about all different things. Sure. And I also speak to service clubs and things. And I speak to some of the seniors clubs and stuff. And, I'm in that group, believe it or not. But so when I speak to them, they say, well, what kind of bike do you ride? I said, what do you think I ride? Harley. And of course, because this is all the marketing that they've done. And it's fantastic, the marketing job that they've done, But yeah. So if they
I've been Harley only my entire adult life. I've never actually sat on anything other than a Harley, being a classic American, right? The only thing I rode that was not Harley was dirt bikes because I rode motocross for 10 years and that was the only thing. I was a Yamaha guy, but and KTM, but that it's totally weird how that works. I've only ever ridden a Harley. I've never ridden any of the Hondas, none of the Shadows, none of that, nothing, no sport bikes, no naked bikes, nothing. And
Yep.
and I have a whole bunch of my buddies who are like, you have to have a Harley, but have a sport bike too. And I'm like, no, I ain't doing that.
Yeah, you know what you like, right?
I know what I like.
But I mean, I've sat on some other ones, and my buddy used to have an Indian Chieftain, and the thing with the Indian Chieftains is the weight distribution is very low, just like on my bike, and I can lift it, no problem. Like lifting it is not a problem. But it's the mods now to get into something like that. Even if I would consider it, I'd have to go back to that centrifugal force clutch. Plus, we'd still
And
have
it's
to
very
go with the
expensive.
throttle. It is, and then the throttle too now is not cable anymore, right? Cable
Right.
throttle is easy to move and put on the left side. Now that we're fly by wire and that, now you got that whole mechanism and move it, and it can be done. But
it's a lot of this.
A lot of this.
Right.
Yeah.
So did you? What would be the best way if someone that's in your, the same boat as you, and or me, what would you advise people to do if they want to ride again, and need to basically get something of the, where you have an automatic clutch or something like that, whatever the case is? Would you recommend like going to these companies and asking and being like, hey, like I want to, work with you guys and we can do this kind of thing? Like, what do you recommend for someone that wants to get back into riding like that?
Well, I would suggest
riding it.
Doing what I did. I think first, there's a lot of information out there. I mean, I was amazed at all the information, especially on Facebook. There's some amputee groups on Facebook. There's even racing groups where they are paralyzed from the waist down. They race crotch rockets in California, as a matter of fact.
Did not know that.
Yeah, there's a lot of groups out there, and just by starting to talk, first of all, I think it starts getting your wheels turning. Going directly to the manufacturers, they won't talk to you. I mean, going to a show is a good place because, sometimes you can find people that do, they'll mod bikes and they do the show bikes and everything. And if you're lucky, they'll give you the time of day.
Sure.
But for me, it was really just going to the show and talking to the different. It's not you're
in
really
person
manufactured. Yeah, you're talking to actually these were kind of like the dealers, right?
Right.
So so I was talking to the dealers, and it's the same thing, right place, right time. But that's another reason why I'm out there. I mean, because I've had a lot of people reach out to me, or other people will share my name. Say, go to Ange, and more people, like, now we're connected, and that's how you can really snowball this thing and help other people. It's really, we can help people more and help point them in the right direction. And I think the other thing that's important, don't lose hope and don't give up. It's there. And I think every time someone else finds it's getting easier and easier and easier. There's always someone that wants to help someone get back on a bike, right?
Oh yeah. I do it almost damn near every day. I'm sure that you do too, on social media and stuff. I get messages all day long, about people and their stories, and whether they're newly amputated or they've lived that way their entire life and they want to, or whatever the case is. And I'm glad that I've been able to have those interactions with these people, because I watch them go from wanting to do it to actually doing it. And that's really, really cool. Really satisfying. Yeah.
Yeah. But don't push yourself, don't push yourself.
You never,
right.
I said the same shit.
And don't let people, try and tell you what you should and shouldn't do. Because when I wanted to start riding, I mean, people mean well. I really do. I think majority of people mean well. But some of my dearest friends were saying, Ange, you know what? You won't be able to handle a motorcycle. Go on a trike or go on a spider. And I said, and I said, well, listen, there's nothing wrong with that. But that's not what I want.
But that's not what you want. Right.
And I'll make a decision. If I don't feel safe, I'll be the first one to take myself off it. But I mean, that's where I come from, people judging. People will judge you, and you just got to let that go. And I've had that experience firsthand. I mean, just to and I share this because it's important to understand this. Like, I went on a flight, it was United Airlines, and I had a seat that was beside an emergency exit. And when I went to sit down, well, what happened was I had a bag, and I was, it was a bit cumbersome. So I asked somebody to help me, and the fellow helped me. And then he said, where are you sitting? And I said, well, I'm sitting over here. And loudly, it was a very small plane, you can't sit there. I said, well, why not? He said, well, you're not going to be able to open the emergency door. I said, I have news for you, buddy. I said, the majority of people, God forbid something happens to this plane, will not be able to open that emergency door. I said, I'm not going to put myself in a place where I'm going to jeopardize the lives of other people and myself.
Sure.
But he wouldn't let me sit there. So right away, there was judgment. And, when we landed here, I remember saying to him, I said, tell me something, buddy. I said, you have two hands. Do you know how to play guitar? I'm sad,
I like
and
that.
I said, what comes around goes around. I said, I'm telling you, don't judge people. Really, don't do that.
Facts.
But,
you don't know the capabilities of other people.
Well,
Sure.
true. And I mean, to
Sure.
this day, I know, look, you have a job to do. If you think that it wasn't right for me to sit there, fine. But the way you handled the situation was totally wrong. So again,
Right.
I always see what's the positive that came out of that? The positive was I maintained my composure and I didn't explode like I wanted to.
Right. Right.
And I have another story to tell. I mean, it's just to help people. We all face it. We all
Mhm.
face it for
It's
different reasons.
all sorts of adversity for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So you just stay positive.
PMA, it
I
sounds like
like
you
it.
got positive mental attitude. I love it.
That's it, man. You have to.
Yep.
You have to. You have to. And I think you have to realize that, that you're going to have down days. You're going to have down times. You're going to have time, but you got to pick yourself up. You just got to pick yourself up. And hopefully you've got positive energy around you. But
Yep.
sometimes we don't. And that's when you got to really learn to, because I'm telling you, the worst thing you can do is get on that phone and start surfing and your day is gone.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Right?
100%
So
correct.
That's it.
life is too short.
Facts.
Too short.
I like
How
that.
much of it you spend with the motivational speaking?
Yeah.
Well, I got a gig on Monday.
Very nice.
The toughest thing, to be honest with you, is getting into schools. And I really want to get in to
Yes.
talk to the youth and the teens, but I'm telling you, they've got a model of what they want in those schools right now, and I don't fit it. And I will not give up.
And it's
I'm
like
gonna
locked.
try.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, but the sad reality is it's actually easier for me to get gigs in the States. And that is good,
Yeah,
but not
weird.
because I want to. There's so many, I think
We're very open down here in that
Oh
regard.
yeah, but we need to get hope into folks, especially the young ones. They watch TikTok or they watch Instagram and they believe it and it's true. They don't take
Yep.
the time to research. They don't want to research. If somebody says something and they, for whatever, feel a connection with them, it's true and they believe it. and
No,
they're
they
off.
believe it as gospel,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why
So-
I say that us influencers actually have a very huge responsibility on what we put up here. You know what I mean? Because we are, whether we like to admit it or not, whether it be good or bad, indifferent, whatever, that we actually do influence. And so when people see that, they take it as gospel. They go, okay, wow, okay, whatever the case, whatever you said there, I'm going to take it. And I believe it 100%. And people do that all the time. And so that's why I try to prove with action, kind of like what you do. That's very, very cool that you do that. I like that a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Of course.
I try. Listen, I had to put up with enough people making fun of me because of my buddy Jeff Gordon there in the background. Like I used to go to the NASCAR races and watch Jeff go. And you like Jeff
That's
Gordon?
cool.
Yeah, I like Jeff Gordon. People walking around
America.
with boxes and everything. Yeah, right. But fine. You want to make fun of things or what I like? I don't care.
Love it. Yep, and that's right, Kickdown. And he says, I love when people don't let anything stop them from what they are doing, what they love doing. Thanks, Angie. That's awesome. That's super cool. Absolutely. 100%.
I'm digging it. You're getting a good response, man. Hey.
Yep, that's awesome.
Did turn into a great interview.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Would you think it was going to go to shit?
I knew it would. No. No, I've been lucky so far.
Yep, that's true, Kickstand. You said that we ain't doing no NASCAR bullshit. I get you. It's cool. It's cool.
Stop the cap.
Well, they got to turn left.
Right.
Yep, another left turn. Yep.
I used to laugh at the guys.
Yep.
They watch NASCAR, but they
Gotta
turn
watch NASCAR.
but-
It's Sunday. Got put TV on. Turn up that volume. Crack open the beer. Watch you
It
drive.
sounds like she tried to speak like us here native in Alabama. I see that. Talladega Nights over here. I see. I got you.
She got you, Mike.
And that's right. Kickstands down. It only goes to shit on my show. That's good. That's right. We keep it that way.
No, man, that was phenomenal.
I
Like I
loved
say, I know that you ride a lot because every time that we speak, you always message me back. I'm on the road. It's like, beautiful.
Do you have speaking of, as we're coming towards the hour here, do you have any social medias that we can follow you on? Please shout them out.
Oh God. Yeah, I have justriding.com.
So you got a whole ass website.
Oh yeah, I mean that's my main thing. That's my social media platform, and I try and feed everything off of that. And I've got Instagram and yeah, YouTube. I got to get going, and Facebook, and Yeah. How do you keep up with all this stuff and TikTok? And
It's a full-time job.
It is, Yeah. Yeah.
It's a full-time fucking
Yeah.
job.
But justriding.com is where you can subscribe and stuff. And no, I haven't done blogs in a long time because I'm busy doing other stuff, but I got to get on
Yeah.
that. So that's the best place. That's the best place to start.
Yep. Nice.
But it's just riding on just.
Is it just Riding?
Riding? Yeah.
IN or Riding?
JUSTRIDIN.com. The first one.
Okay, so the first one that kicks
The
down
first one,
said.
yeah.
Riding.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Guest Down.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. No, anything else? What else you want to tell us about? you got a million good things.
I don't know. What else have we got?
We're getting up on an hour. Well, it means we'll round up the hour, no?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It was a very good interview, I feel like. I love
Go
it.
Edmonton.
Wait, you mentioned going to Ohio for a big roundup.
Oh yeah, don't forget that.
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, so it's the Athena Ride for Women in Athens, Ohio. That's happening the first week in August, last week of July, first week of August. So I'm going to do that and be down there. So after
And what's
that,
that for again?
It's just a women's rally. So
Okay,
I'll be
nice.
speaking. I'm their featured speaker there.
Right on.
Yeah, so if there's any ladies and whatnot, I suggest you check it out. It's a really good time. And then, yeah, we're hoping we're going to go down to Galax and then across part of the Blue Ridge. And I don't know where we'll end up after.
Nice. That's the best way to ride, in my opinion.
Right?
No destination.
Yeah.
She's heading your way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
That'd be cool to connect.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Right?
Absolutely.
That'd be cool.
There we go. Yes.
Nice. There you go. They found you.
They found me.
Mhm.
These guys on the chat are super. Really,
Yes,
really,
they are.
really great.
They're
Yeah.
family, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
All right. Do you guys want to wrap it?
Yep, that sounds good to me.
Okay, let's
I
wrap it.
appreciate. Well, I'll just quickly say, Angie, first of all, thank you for coming on to the show and being willing to talk about your story and what you do, and also where we can find you. It sounds like that you're on an amazing road, and it seems like you found your true passion in life, and that's something that I also have done. And so when I see that in people, it actually makes me very happy. Because a lot of the times we do things that we don't necessarily love to do.
Mhm.
And doing things that you absolutely love to do is, that's where the true, real creativity and passion comes out. And I love to hear it. I love to hear that you're helping other people as well. Motivational speaking, doing your social media stuff, YouTube stuff. That's awesome to hear. Keep up on the YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a great site to expand your reach and stuff like that. I always say for anybody that's a content creator, for any of these new platforms that come out, whether it be like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, people go like, should I go, focus my time on here or over here? I say no. You add it to your whole repertoire of shit that is already a mess, and it's already crazy. But you add it in there and you have to make time, and it's unfortunate, but hey, it's
Right.
part of the game of YouTube, right? So,
Yeah.
but I can't thank you enough, for also allowing me on here as well, Bob, and
Thank
to
you,
you,
Mike.
Angie, thank you for allowing me to hang out with you guys.
Of course.
Oh,
And
I
Bob, no
appreciate you showing
excuse.
up.
We gotta get together.
Yes, we do. You're just down the highway.
Yes, sir.
I got to come down
Nice.
to catch your band.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was always in the music industry before I became a biker.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
so-
I booked the bands for the college in London.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, we had the Tragically Hip before they were hip.
Mm-hmm.
Just
That's the
before they
coolest.
hit the radio. Yeah.
That's the coolest. Yeah.
College,
Well,
college.
I'll stay in touch with both of you and hope you do the
Absolutely.
same. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I will. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just remember, so when you see me, you'll know because I do this. Sometimes there's a sock on it. A sock on it. Sometimes
That's right.
there's
Hey,
gloves,
I feel
right?
that.
Hands. Yeah. So now my husband can say, put a sock on it, and I can literally do it. Without being
Right. And
offended.
literally do it. Yeah. I feel that. I actually relate. So,
Right.
hey, I'm just on a different part of the limb,
It's just a different part, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Oh, thank you guys both for coming. It was a great, great time.
Thank you.
Yes,
for
it was
having me.
super fun. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Angie.
Be safe.
Bye, guys.
Okay. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
See you. Bye.
Thanks for watching, everyone. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the love in the comments too. Thank you so much. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Angie. Good night, guys.
Appreciate you.
That was cool.
That was a great interview, man.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that.
Of
Thank
course.
you, Angie. Can you still hear me?
I don't know if she's in the background
I don't know
still.
if she can hear me. Okay. She can't hear me. Oh, wait. I lost Mike.
You're still live, by the way.
Okay. So what I do, I got to end it. I'm new at this.